Hello everyone and welcome to Club Reaction to Celtic 3, Rangers 2, and unfortunately I need to say we've lost another Old Firm game. I am Scott Carney, I'm with Ali Pearson.
So let's see how we're doing, but yes, it's just one of those days again, isn't it?
Yes, and Scott Gemmell.
Afternoon everybody, sorry my voice is a wee bit croaky there.
Why is your voice croaky? Your voice just hard.
I don't know what the
You were fine a minute ago.
Fine, sorry everyone, yes. I've had better Saturdays, I've had better Easters, let's put it that way.
Yeah, today's a weird one to know how to feel about it. Rangers have shot themselves in the foot today. I'm not going to stand here and give Celtic credit because I don't think they really deserve it. The biggest enemy of Rangers today was themselves. Absolutely themselves. We have gifted 2 goals to them, and there's going to be so many, and I've not even really been on Twitter because I don't really want to go on Twitter because it's just going to be vicious, but everything today was there for us today and we didn't take it. We didn't take it, and we can't continue to keep saying the same thing. The team, Ali, the biggest shock was there was no Connor Goldson. Apparently he's got a hip injury confirmed by Beale. Credit to Curry Muncher, by the way, because he did say that last night in the comments, and I didn't put it up because you usually get the rumours before Old Firm that somebody's out or whatever, but you seem to have been spot on there. But yeah, that's probably the biggest shock.
Yeah, because Beale done his press on Friday and said everyone was okay, so I was surprised to see it. Just before the game, folk were showing pictures of Goldson coming into the park, Eddie was there, and it was a surprise. John Suter coming in, he's not played football this season, he's played 10 minutes here and there. I was worried with John Suter there, but he's a good player, John Suter, though. It's not as if he's a young Leon King coming, he's an experienced player coming in, so it didn't faze me that much. I thought middle to front is what I thought, and I was happy with the lineup, to be honest.
Ali still trying to claim that he called the right team, but he didn't because Suter played. He named Goldson and Suter played. Well, it doesn't matter, he still didn't get it right, Scotia. But yeah, it's probably the biggest shock. Morelos maybe starting, I don't know if many people seen it coming up. But again, you kind of have to take the risk with Morelos in a game like today.
Yeah, well, I say to you guys off air, obviously I went for the 3-5-2, which I think was probably putting it out there a wee bit too much for me to do that. But I wouldn't even played Morelos because I think Morelos and Troa recently have both been very poor.
Yeah.
But if you're
sorry, would a guy just walk past and go, "I've seen you in the podcast"? Like, all right, mate, give us a second.
Cheers. So I would have played like a Tillman Sakala kind of up front, but it's kind of what you expected. With Goldson being out, Suter, he played what? He didn't even play the full 90 the Livy game at the start of the season, did he? Because came off, didn't he? So, I mean, let's be honest. I was more positive than that because Lundstrom wasn't starting.
Yeah,
that's what
I agree. I think the fact that we had Tillman, we had Cantwell on the park, we had Raskin on the park, all gave us a lift. I thought, right, okay, fair enough. Goldson's not there, still gave me a wee bit of the fear, but
first time all 4 of them started as well.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because that's the kind of team that I would have went with. Obviously, the unforced change, or the forced change was Goldson coming out and Suter coming in. You can't help that, but apart from that, fair enough, I was more happy with the team. In the game itself, and I thought Rangers were much better. We started the game much better. We pressed Celtic, we got in their faces, we tried to stop them doing anything, and they didn't like it, let's be honest, they didn't like it at all. But the moment that we stopped doing it, Ali, I screamed it as soon as the ball got played in the middle of the park. I said, get out, get into their faces. We didn't. The ball comes in, Kyogo's got time to take 2 touches before he puts it in, and Celtic are leading the game.
Yeah, I thought Rangers started very well in this game. Tav said in his presser we need to come out at Celtic, and they did come out at Celtic, to give them credit. We did. I thought we pressed Celtic over the park. I agree with you, they didn't like it, Celtic. That's the way to play against this Celtic team. I thought we were getting success from it, but yes, on that goal we sat deep and we all turned to each other. You turned to us and went. We could see it. We could see it in our own eyes happening. And again, it's a slip ball. And Sky Sports showed a montage 5 minutes, I think, before the game of these Celtic goals, and it was the exact same goal. And it was a slip ball pulled back in the back of the net. And at that point, you're thinking, here we go again, because we did start the game well.
As a professional podcast as we are, I did completely forget to mention the fact that Alfredo Morelos scored a perfectly good goal. So we'll come to that. Yeah, I made a bit of a mess of that, but Scotia, Alfredo's goal's a goal. It's not a free kick. And blue tinted glasses if you like, whatever. It's a goal. We should have been 1-0 up. Ultimately we weren't. That's fine. Celtic are the ones that do take the lead, and my point still stands. The minute we stop doing what we were doing, they score.
Yeah, I mean, because that first 20 minutes, we were good. We were at it. Like,
Deserve to go on.
yeah, I thought so, because we were like chasing down the balls. We were kind of getting back to the, what was it called, the relentless kind of hunting in packs,
Yep.
that kind of thing. We were
Yep.
doing that, and I thought like Cantwell, Tillman winning the ball in decent areas. So we get that corner. Alfie scores, and there's nothing. I've heard like, here's blue tinted specs, because I've heard other Rangers fans say that it should have been a penalty to us for that, because there was a wee tug in Alfie's jersey. I think all of that was handbags. I think it was a perfectly good, valid goal, because he's not even pushing. He's just using his hand to kind of almost steady himself against was it Johnson's back?
Considering they're both all over the top of each other,
Yeah.
right? So they're both doing just as much as each other. Alfie wins a battle and scores, as far as I'm
So
concerned.
perfectly good goal, but that goes, and then that kind of does that deflate us a wee bit. I don't know, but we do, like you say, we definitely do then start
Drop
setting
off,
off,
yeah.
and it's like, also you can't expect us to keep that intensity that we were playing in the first
No.
20 up the full half, so you do expect waves and things like that. But it was a wee bit disappointing how we done it, and we were poor again for the goal. I think it was Taylor that kind of got the better of Tav down that left hand side for them.
Yeah.
And then
Was it Taylor?
I think it was Taylor. I think that's the only thing Taylor had done, to be honest, in that game. But
Yeah.
it was enough to kind of
Yeah.
do us.
I think I can agree and I can disagree. If we're going out to be in Celtic's faces, you have to maintain it. You have to do it the full game. They do it to teams. We have to do it to teams. And I felt like towards the end of the first half we kind of fell away. And as soon as we done it, we conceded a goal. It's one of the goals that we've seen time and time again. It really is, because we're not in their faces. We're letting them get too much time on the ball when they score a goal. Ali, however, our equaliser is probably one of the best Old Firm goals in the last probably decade, and I'm not even over exaggerating there. James Tavernier's free kick is an absolute beauty and gets us into the break. I think deservedly equal.
Yeah. As soon as we got the free kick, great position. We all thought, here, Tav's going to step up here, and it's probably one of the best Old Firm goals I've seen in a long time at Parkhead by a Rangers player. It was because as Scotia said to us earlier on in the pub, it hits the underside of the bar, so it looks good. It was a fantastic free kick.
Stealing your point, Scotia.
There you go, Scotia. I'll let Scotia say that.
Sally.
But it's fantastic free kick by Tav, and I agree with you, rightfully so. We went in level at one each. I thought we deserved to at least win at one each, and a lot of folk questioned James Tavernier. Is he a captain? He scores big goals for Rangers.
He does.
Look how many big goals he scores
does.
for us and gets us back in games. Once again, he scored a big goal for us.
Yeah, Scotia, it's a cracking goal. We do deserve it, like, go into the break one each. I think that was pretty fair. The second half, I think, obviously have your say on Tav as well, the Tav's free kick. Second half, I thought we started again, maybe the first 10 minutes I thought we were really good, again putting Celtic under pressure, but ultimately we have a downfall of our own demise by, I don't know what Davis is doing. Honestly, I can't figure out what Davis is even attempting to try and do. If you're going to commit yourself to try and win that ball, you have to go through the player as well. Doesn't matter if you're going to get a boot in the face. And I know that's easy for me to say, a guy that doesn't play football, but still, it's a very, very poor goal for us to concede to go 2-1 behind.
Aye, right. A lot to digest
there
there.
was,
There's
sorry.
two goals to go
goals,
for.
right, yeah.
Let's start with the Tav one. I actually thought that the ball was maybe a wee, where the free kick was, it was maybe a wee bit too square for Tav to do it. But he done it brilliantly, and as Ali said, I did mention that because if you think back to like when Tony Yeboah scored this goal, the only reason people speak about Tony Yeboah's goal is because it hit off the crossbar and went in.
Yeah.
If it had just went up into the roof of the net, it'd been like a great goal, but you wouldn't be remembering it like that's now almost 25-30 years.
Yeah.
They'll remember it since then. So a fantastic goal. We'll have a discussion on whether it's his best goal, but that's a time for another podcast.
Yeah, probably.
Their goal, I thought Davis was having a pretty solid game, and I thought initially he kind of messed up it a wee bit, and I thought, no, it's fine, he'll be able to deal with it. And then the second, like he headed it, it wasn't a great header. And whatever he done second time was like, what are you doing? It was just,
It was a disaster.
It was a calamity. And then
It
I was
was.
like, I've seen Rangers teams since Gerrard came in, like, so since, I'm not counting Caixinha and Warburton, but like since that period, I've seen Rangers teams do things like this that were our own downfall. And
that's
was
what's
it.
happened, and Ali, the goal following that with John Souttar, and I think John Souttar's going to get a lot of slack, a lot of criticism for this even, and I don't think it's very fair, because I don't think Souttar and Davies were particularly bad at all, but the pass back here is just, we've shot ourselves in the foot once and then thought that wasn't sore enough, we'll do it again.
It's a downfall of this Rangers team this season, particularly you look back to the last game at Parkhead with McLaughlin in goal and shot ourselves in the foot there. We've done it again. It's I thought John Souttar and Davies were decent today. I don't think they had much to do, to be honest. Some to the Celtic backline as well, but it's poor for Souttar, but can he put the blame on the boy? A lot of folk will put the blame on the boy and say hang him out to dry. I thought John Souttar was decent. The guy's not played football. It was a mistake by him. It was a mistake. And but it was a crucial mistake, because at that point, a 3-1 down, and to me, it's game over at that point.
Yeah, it was.
It was disappointing, because we had the game in the palm of our hand. For me, the Morelos chance, which we've not mentioned, just before the Davies, Davies made an arse here. He had a great chance to make it 2-1 to Rangers, and we had all the momentum. But once again, we've shot ourselves in the foot in an Old Firm game, and it's disappointing.
It is disappointing. No, it is. Obviously, we get not back into it. We scored another fantastic goal, I think, by James Tavernier. Fullback to fullback. Yeah, it's
Bring me back Europa League Thursday night, please.
Yes, it's Barisic that crosses the ball with Tavernier at the back post, and it's a fantastic finish. It really is, for Tav to get 100 goals for Rangers. It's a great goal, but ultimately, Scotia, it's going to count for absolutely nothing, because we've failed again. We have failed again, and the reason I'm struggling for words is because I think Rangers were a lot better. I do. I think we were a lot better than what we seen in the League Cup final. I thought we were much more at it, but ultimately we've made two catastrophic mistakes, and their strikers are scoring goals, and it's our right back that's got a double. I think that's a story in itself.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that game, and we were better. We came out. Rangers done everything that we asked of them, and like starting the game, defensive errors killed us. That goal from Tav, I thought that was almost as good as his first goal. Just the way that it worked, like Borna, because you could see Borna spy him. Tav screaming for it at the back post.
Yeah.
Goes in, and like we said this, you get joy if you're playing against Celtic down that way. Because mind in the sort of start of the first half, they were looking very, very dodgy. So we started to put pressure back on again. I mean, the mind you turn it in the pub. When we were there, when they went 3-1 up, you just go like, oh, this is going to be 5, this is going to be 4. I miss a positivity, as you all know. And I didn't think so. I held out hope. Unfortunately, it was only one goal. I would have preferred another, and it nearly was, actually.
Yeah, I know. Tav nearly got himself a hat-trick. Yeah, he wasn't too far away from getting himself a hat-trick, but ultimately he didn't. And yeah, we're left 12 points behind now, and the league is completely finished. It is absolutely over. It's just a matter of when for Celtic to win it. So yeah, today's a strange one. I do think there's. I'm not going to stand here and blame mentality, because I don't think it is mentality today. I thought Rangers were much more at it, much more a team that we would like to see playing against Celtic, and two just absolute brain farts by our centre halves have caused them to score 2 goals.
And a disaster by the referee.
Yeah, and Clancy, fucking Clancy, honestly. Let's not get into it, because I'll be here all night if I start talking about Clancy. But again, though, it's a defeat, and that's what's going to the record books. The record books will say, and unfortunately, it leaves us in an impossible position to come back and win. Win the league. So yeah. It'll take a wee while for it to all sink in and for them to know how to feel. Tuesday night will probably be a bit of a therapy session for all of us, but ultimately it's a win for Celtic, and we have failed again. Ali, thank you very much, mate.
No problem. I agree with you. Ultimately we have failed again, but when we sit back in the cold light today, there was positive to take from that game today. I think Rangers showed what we wanted them to show. There was individual mistakes that have cost us today. Going forward to the semi-final, we can be optimistic, I think, going into that game. I don't think there's a major gulf between the two teams. They're very clinical, Celtic, in the Old Firm games, but I don't think there's a massive gulf, and I think Rangers should take optimism going into the game in the semi-final. But overall, next season is where we need to look at. I know I don't want to write this season off, but we need to rebuild a team. you've seen it again today. There's some players that just aren't up to it for me, and next season's where it's at, and it's a big summer for us.
Massive summer coming up. Scott, thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, cheers. I mean, I was speaking to you before the game and during the game and after it. It's like, if we win the game today, does it give us a wee bit of false hope? Because you don't really see Celtic dropping against another two teams, which they need to do if we're to win like all the remaining Old Firm games. So right, that's done and dusted. So now we're basically, all our season is hanging on is the game at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I do have the belief that Rangers can show up and do it well, because I thought, looking at that, I thought Rangers were the better team for the majority, but like Ali says, Celtic were more clinical, and maybe that's where we all need to look at in the summer, definitely. But hopefully some of our players can get up to that level when the end of the month comes.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ultimately, 2 brain farts from Rangers let Celtic win that game. Our defender scores 2 goals, their striker scores 2 goals. I think that kind of tells the story of the game. Enjoy the rest of the weekend if you can. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.